So good to see you again. You know, I'm looking forward to sharing beginning ukulele lesson number 4 with you. You've probably noticed that the lessons are getting a little bit harder each time, and it's supposed to be that way. They're really intended not to fly through, but to practice each time. And so let's do that. Let's just review a little bit what we talked about earlier. Lesson number 1, 2, and 3. Well, we learned about the basic parts of the ukulele, didn't we? The bass and the strings and the frets and so forth. We learned about how to hold it correctly. We've also learned about how to strum a little bit with your index finger, your fingernail, and your thumb. Remember? We learned those things. We learned 3 chords. Do you remember what they were? I hope so. We learned the C chord, remember? Probably the most familiar, most common, even the easiest. We learned about the A minor. How did you guys do with that? Sometimes if we lay our finger across it, it'll deaden it. So you got to keep it up like a claw. Get your fingers up in a U shape, shift your hand over, and then you'll be able to press down the string with the tip of your finger. There's your A minor. And then of course an F goes right into, you just put your index finger down right there, you have an F. So we had 3 chords. Today, we're going to learn 2 more chords, the G7 and the G. Well, let's take a look at the G7 right off the bat. The G7 is like this, and it sounds like this. And really, it is a common chord that follows the F chord in songs. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that in many songs, there's chord progressions, chords that follow each other. Let me show you. C often can follow A minor, and then F. See how it sounds like a little bit of a song? Well, let's go from an F now to a G7. Everyone, in fact, take a minute and get your ukulele. Hold it. I'm not holding it correctly because I want to show you the chords. But you can hold it like this, and put your fingers in F position. Now, to go into a G7, your middle finger's already here. Have it jump over to the next string. See that? But at the same time, you take your ring finger and you move it up here. So it's on the same fret as your middle finger. Okay? Now, if you just do it like this, it's not going to go so well. But when you put that ring finger up there at the same time, you're going to need to shift your hand up. Shift it up. Watch what I do. Into the G7. Then I go. Hey, to take a close look at the G7, look at the screen for a minute. You see that? What is it shaped like? Well, it's shaped like a triangle, isn't it? And the tip of the triangle is way up high. Just like that. Perfect. The G7. Hey, let me show you how that sequence, how that progression works with the chords. Okay, you ready? You can do it with me. Start with your C, and I'm going to go very slowly, but you'll hear kind of a little bit of a song or a tune. Listen. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go to the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here's that G7. Whoops! See how my hand rotates? There you go. So it kind of has it, and then you go right back down to a C. There you go. That's a chord progression. Hey, before we stop, let me show you the G chord. G's are used often in playing songs, and it can be tricky for some people, so watch closely. The G chord, you have your middle finger right at the end here, see, on that one. Then you have your index finger, skip a string, go right to the third one over. And then in the middle, but down on the 3rd fret, is your ring finger. Let me do that again. Here, here, and here. Wow, can you see my fingers? See how there's dents in them? That's what your fingers are going to look like too if you're doing it correctly. So you go here, here, and here. That's a G. Look at the screen again. Does that look like a triangle? If you said yes, you're right. But it looks like an upside down triangle, doesn't it? So there's your G. I've given you so much to practice just between those two chords and maybe a little progression. But let's end with this. Let's do the chord progression, shall we? The C to the A minor to the F to the G7. Get your ukuleles out. Let's do it. I'm going to go very slowly. I'm going to go 4 counts. I'm going to go 1. That's when you hit the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next chord. Ready? Here we go. C. 1, 2, 3. A minor. 1, 2, 3. F. 1, 2, 3. Now G7. 1, 2, 3. I could switch pretty quickly, couldn't I, to the G7? I've done it for a while. Let me do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then G7. See how I rotate? 1, 2, 3, 4. And you will get to the place you can go like this. 1. Have some fun with your ukulele. Just play with it. Enjoy. I look forward to sharing with you again. Lesson number 5. You guys are ready to start playing some songs. And we're going to have some fun. So, good to see you, and I hope to see you again. Bye-bye.